Hello everyone, my name is Naomi, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I care for myself during my menstrual cycle and a more spiritual edition. So I decided to represent today with all of my red, and really why I wanted to share this video was because I for so long struggled with my menstrual cycle. I would have severe pain, hormonal disruptions, and just feeling very disconnected to my body. And so I felt that this video would be such an amazing way to really share the wisdom that I've been able to learn during my own healing journey, and just a feminine version of being able to really just cater to my bleed. And so I really hope that you enjoy. So, the first thing I would say that has really helped me to have a more easeful and just more relaxing bleed is to make sure that I'm having some form of self care or skincare. And this really looks like using like some warm oils, massaging my womb space, and I love to use castor oil, jojoba oil, and really just making sure that I am giving myself that love and healing, especially when I'm in my deep bleed. I also love to make sure that I am just taking time to really care for myself. I'll have a nice warm long shower or a bath, do some sort of like hair care, skincare, or anything that really makes you feel like you're taking care of your vessel. I also tend to have stronger cramps and pain at times, so using things like a heated pad for your womb space, putting some essential oils on there, and allowing yourself to really go back within and just like prioritizing your temple. During this time, our hormones are pretty much at their lowest and we're losing nutrients and minerals. It is so important to really just take time for yourself, and doing the things that make your vessel feel really good. This also includes making sure that I am using like toxic free period supplies and all of those pads, and a lot of those products can have a lot of just crazy chemicals. So I try to make sure that I'm getting organic cotton pads, and if I'm just going to be at home and I'm not going to be out and about, I really try to make sure that I'm not like shoving a lot of things inside of me. It's really important to kind of have a natural nice flow, and so I even will use like my organic reusable pads or a period underwear that will really just allow my body to do its thing. Yeah, I really make sure that I'm using that high quality and trying to give just my womb space, using like softer, loose clothes, cotton clothes, linen, and things that I don't care if I'm gonna stain, because I'm just tuning in and I'm allowing my body to really just rest. The next thing I would say that is so important for just this period cyclical time is making sure that I am setting energetic boundaries. When I say this, I am basically talking about communicating to your friends, your family, your partner, like, hey, during this week, I might be more introverted or irritable, sensitive, and really trying to curate a space where you don't feel like you need to continuously exert this energy that you really don't have. And so for me, this looks like, obviously communicating to my partner, like, hey, I'm starting my period. I'm sorry if I have a little bit less patience or if I don't really want to go out as much, but I really need to have this time for myself. And I know that this is like not ideal in our society. Like, I'm kind of just giving you some ideas of what you can do, but I know a lot of you guys probably have work and school or all these different commitments or family. And so just trying to at least communicate your boundaries and say, hey, I am going to have like an hour longer morning routine, or maybe like 30 minutes just to have like time to, take a nice, slow, intentional bath, or whatever that looks like for you, can really be a game changer and allows people to actually understand that, oh, hey, like she's actually feeling more introverted right now in her like yin. And so let's kind of make that space, you know? And this is not just with people, but also like in your day to day life. For me, this looks like, for example, school. I try to make sure that during my luteal phase, I am getting as much as I can done and wrapping things up, you know, finishing videos or homework, projects, so that my future, you know, menstrual phase self can have just relaxing time, because I know that I'm not going to be as energetic. I'm probably going to be more tired and just feeling a lot more slow. And so, really give your future self that grace. And this goes with anything, you know, whether if it's your job or maybe familial commitments, trying to set your future self up by like meal prepping or, you know, washing the sheets, buying groceries. And so that way you can actually enjoy and have just a softer, more easeful time. Next thing I would say is trying to implement some form of soft movement. This can look like many different things, but for me, it's really making sure that I have my yoga practice at whatever time of day. Usually, I do try to do it in the morning, but because sometimes my cramps can be really heavy, I do like to play like little videos or like period yoga videos that really allow the pelvis to really rock and stretch and my lower back. So I just like roll around on the floor and I really just give my body all the things that I need. Sometimes this looks like going for a walk. You know, I try to make sure that I at least get in one day where I can ground, you know, taking off my shoes and connecting with the earth. Like I said, during this time, you know, we are shedding, we're releasing. And I really love to think of the female body as a physical embodiment and just a projection of nature, you know. In nature, you know, we have the summer, you know, which is like our ovulation. Then we have fall as we're feeling into our luteal. And then winter, which is our bleed, you know, we're feeling like hibernating, we're going within, we're shedding, we're releasing, we're dying in a way. And then coming back up into our follicular, which is springtime. And so we are basically like this physical representation of nature. And it is so, so important for us to ground and connect and have an intentional just connection with your body, because your body is your greatest teacher. You know, your vessel is always communicating things to you. And so by making sure that you have this relationship and you allow your womb, your nervous system, your gut, all of these different healing methods where you can start to notice the different inclinations, like, oh, I'm feeling more hungry. I need to eat more because my metabolism is actually higher and faster when I'm in my bleed. And so if I'm feeling hungrier, it's because I need to eat more, you know? And so it really comes back down to healing that relationship to your body and unlearning the conditioning from society. The next thing that I really love to incorporate is some form of womb supplements. And this can look like, you know, drinking some nice warm red raspberry loose leaf tea. I really try to make sure that I'm taking magnesium during this time because it can alleviate cramps and just your whole hormonal system. I also try to just really try to make sure that I'm taking as much iron as I can, because we are, you know, losing blood. It is so important to make sure that you are, you know, kind of revamping that and resetting yourself. And so I try to take iron and my multivitamin and really just more natural ways that I can start to reincorporate all of those minerals and nutrients that I'm losing. And so, yeah, even like I'll make some delicious ceremonial cacao, and cacao is amazing because it has magnesium and all of these just delicious minerals that our body really is needing during this time. And I'll go ahead, you know, speak my little affirmations in my cacao, and really it is an affirmation to yourself that you are willing to take the time and energy to pour into your cup. This is like, not really an ideal time for you to be, out there doing all these, extraneous things. And so the more that you can start to go within and actually valuing your just introversion and getting curious and allowing your body to really heal and supplementing her in the ways that you need is going to make your period and just your menstrual cycle all the much better. And really spiritually, you're affirming that you love yourself, and so you will in turn feel so much more fueled and at ease because you are replenishing all of those key minerals. The next thing I would say that I really try to incorporate during my menstrual is grounded nourishment. Food is so important, and if you watch like any other of my other videos, you'll know that I'm such a foodie. But this is such an important time to really making sure that you are eating the right foods and during your bleed, because there's already so much happening within your uterine lining, and there's just contractions and you're releasing and your digestive tract, and there's just so much going on. And so making sure that you are fueling your body with nice warm soups and bone broth and stews and really delicious steaks, to where you can start to source the iron from all these different more animal-based and plant-based products, is going to really just change the way that you feel during your cycle, because we're just so programmed to be eating fast food and rushing and going and just eating whatever. Let thy food be thy medicine. You can actually start to source all the minerals that you need just from food itself. And so I try to make sure that I set myself up. I try to avoid eating like a lot of cold or raw foods, because it can be hard already, like adding to what your digestive and just uterine system is going through, to add like to the plate of trying to break down those just harder, more solid foods. And so I would say have fun, try to make some soups. Maybe if you can't, just like roasting some veggies. I really try to incorporate sweet potato. I love to eat, like I said, steak. I incorporate dates, maybe like some, dark chocolate, different foods that I can get creative and that are so delicious, but that are fueling my body. Just like my whole hormonal system can really be at ease. And food is just so amazing. And like I mentioned, during this time, you will feel more hungry because your metabolism is faster. And so please nourish your body. If you are hungry, please eat more, because our body is basically saying like, oh, like I'm ready to make a baby. That's why during the luteal phase, we feel so hungry. We want to eat everything, because your body's like, oh, wow, I'm going to prepare. But because we're not having a baby, we release all of that blood. And so we need to basically re-energize and recharge our vessel with all the things that we're losing. The next thing I would say that I love to incorporate is making some fun, restful, more intentional, soft dates with my friends, with my family. I would say that this is definitely towards like the latter end of my cycle, when I'm starting to pick up on that energy. And communicating again to your friends like, hey, like I'm not really that energetically available to go on this huge hike with you, but I'm so down to like make a sweet little breakfast together and just like talk, or go for a nice walk, or just like hang out in the garden and cultivate your different fruits and veggies, and making like just something intentional together. I feel like this is such a game changer, because you're actually able to enjoy and not like fake or exacerbate all this energy that during this time you really should be cultivating into yourself. And so try to find those people that really fuel you, like those people that are able to show up for you and value you, even if you're not feeling super high and energetic. But having like a cozy little warm date with your boyfriend, or watching a little movie, going to the jacuzzi, maybe doing some art at the park, or whatever this looks like for you, you know, really have fun. And again, it's voicing yourself and saying like, hey, you know, I'm in my moon cycle, but I would still love to connect with you, and you know, just cultivate this beautiful spiritual connection that you're able to have with your friends and your partner and your family. So I love to do this. This is such a just sweet reminder that you can spend intentional time with those that you love in all phases. Last but certainly not least is my spiritual divination reflection time. Like I have mentioned, our cyclical menstrual cycle, it is deeply connected to just the phases of nature and our spirit, and we are really just like these powerful life-making beings. And so during this time, symbolically, we are releasing, we're letting go, we are shedding all of the things that no longer serve us. So it is a beautiful time to go back and truly reflect on this past month. You know, where have you been? What do you choose to let go and bring with you during this new cycle, this new phase, and essentially a new you? Because like nature, you know, we go through this whole phase all the way until winter, and then we go through this rebirth, you know, and it is directly connected to the new moon as well. So starting to plant those new intentions, those new ideologies that maybe will serve you better. And so this is such a wonderful time to journal, to get still, to meditate, and really ponder on all the different ways that maybe you don't want to continue to step into. You know, maybe it's different emotional patterns or triggers that you've been continuously having that you no longer want to continue to express. And so, really just like mind dump, release, let go, and allow yourself to feel. I know I'm not alone when I say that during this time I'm feeling just so sensitive and emotional, and I'll literally watch virtually anything sad on my phone and I just want to fucking cry. Like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, how is this happening, you know? And so allow yourself to feel through that and actually get curious on all the things that you want to release, not only physically, but spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and in all ways. So I think that's it for today, my loves. Thank you so much. Again, if you made it this far, I am really just trying to be open on here with you guys. Sorry if I'm really repetitive or I say a lot of the same things in my videos, but I genuinely feel like these are all just such intentional ways that I've been able to make my period so much more like alleviating and rewriting the script that your period has to be something that you dread or you hate, that just sucks, but actually something like an opportunity that you get to get curious, to spend time with yourself. And so, yes, thank you so much if you made it this far, and I hope to see you all soon, my loves. Bye.